trying to get over here. I'm just getting up. I'm just waking up. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Bullhorn Betty, and we cover true crime. Except this morning, we're waking up together, and we're going to do our work together because I'm sick and tired of doing all the work by myself here every morning without any help. So we're going to force feed you to help. Okay. Sorry, I'm still setting up the live. I accidentally hit the button and it went live way early, and I'm still just not awake yet. So I've got a cup of coffee. And we're going to kind of hang out. What is going on here? Okay, we got 10 minutes. That's been saved. Hold on, guys. That's been saved. We got to schedule this. Do 30 minutes. There we go. Let's save that. All right. I think we're kind of ready. Well, good morning, Melanie I can't pronounce your I'm so sorry. My hooked on phonics is broke. Good morning. Denise, it's nice to see you. Libby, Kathleen, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. I figured, you know what, I'm just waking up. We have a new time. I don't know if everybody has a new time zone or if it's just me, but yesterday our clocks went back an hour. You'd think, oh, wow, that sounds great. We have an extra hour of sleep. Well, it seems like I'm grabbing an extra 2 hours of sleep. Because right now it's 6:30 and it should be 7:30, which means I'm literally up very late. Some good old coffee. Good morning. Tabitha, good morning, love. Melanie, Army vet up in the house. Coffee date. I got my espresso. Oh, good. Then you're headed to the. I get my gym membership and then I quit vaping. And now I'm like eating every damn thing, okay? It's driving me nuts. I've already gained 10 pounds. I'm going like hitting my head against the wall. Should I pick up the vaping? No, I'm not doing that again. It took me 20 years to stop that shit. I'm not going back. I'm off. I'm done. Hallelujah. Done. I'm not going back. We ain't going back, folks. We're not going backwards. We're going forwards. Okay, I'm just saying. That was the hardest damn thing. It took me so many years to finally hang it up. I'm not going back. Chicky, it's nice to see you. Trust the process. Good morning. Tracy, I think I said hi to you, but I'm not sure. I figured this morning, it's Monday. It's a manic Monday. Might as well just let it all hang out this beautiful Monday. So I'm just pulling my little happy butt out of bed. This is literally bedhead Betty. You're not getting it any more. Well, you'd get it a little more bedhead if I was in bed, okay, instead of the kitchen. But I've been looking, and I got to tell you, like last night, I was going to go live again yesterday, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do? You know, I don't want to just go live just to go live. I want to have something, you know, some type of conversation piece. And right now, when you're kind of going over the cases, and I've got to start buckling down and trying to find my Michael Monkey Vaughn stuff. It's in one of my dump files. I know it is. But which dump file would it be in? Anyways, so we have the cases. So Ashlee Buzzard is like, you know, hitting Kada Scott. Well, Keon King is in jail now. You know, Kada Scott was just buried Saturday. So she just had her funeral. And there's not a whole lot going on except us trying to get another DA elected, Pat Dugan. And I think it's going to be, I'm looking into the guy. Pat Dugan seems pretty legit. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. He seems pretty tight. I think he would be a great asset to Philadelphia. I mean, if he's willing to help the people, why not? Why not give him the opportunity? It seems like Larry Krasner's been in office for multiple elections, and obviously things aren't getting better. So that's just my point, you know. And Melodee Buzzard, like you can start seeing law enforcement's kind of. I'm really having a problem with this case, and I'm having a problem that apparently nobody else is having, and I'm not quite sure how I personally want to handle that because, again, I mean, I've got a issue. What else do we got coming in here? I think the last person I said hi to was Tabitha Chicky. Sonia, good morning. Patty, Lisa B. Always, good morning, love bugs. Show poodles in the house. Go to I know. Well, you know, it's like 7. It's like almost 8:00 our time, right? I mean, granted, we did just go back to, you know, out of daylight savings or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it, but I don't know if it's the vice or the versa. Okay, but we just went back an hour, so technically. It's 7:43 instead of 6:43, you know, technically. But I digress. Yes, we are up early. We're doing morning stuff. You guys never get to see you never get the behind the scenes, okay? Maybe I should have said behind the scenes with Betty, okay? Instead of bedhead Betty, okay? Instead of good morning. I should. Behind the scenes with Betty in the morning, okay? It's not pretty. Okay, it's not pretty in Casa Boulevard this early in the morning. I'm tired. I'm still sleepy. I'm still getting the crust out of my eyes. The Lila's not even up making a noise. Look at, she's even lazy. She's like, Mom, what the hell are you doing? Go back to bed. And I'm like, yeah, I can't go back to bed. We have all these people that want my time. No. Nancy, it's nice to see you. Mama, good morning. It's nice to see you. Deborah. Lion, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Bed bug digger, Betty. Bed bug digger, no. Good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. So that's kind of where we are. And then like in Michael Monkey Vaughn, which again, another case we could be talking about. I can't find my content. I can't find any of my content. Like, I mean, of course I've got it on my YouTube page, but I don't have the content. Hey, Jules, it's nice to see you, love. Nicole, good morning. 6:45 East Coast. Well, we're rocking and rolling, aren't we? I'm just pulling my butt out of bed. Okay. This is not even a real show. We don't even have a talking point this morning. We're just saying good morning, okay? Can everybody just get along this morning and just say hi? Just say hi. Come in here and say hi. Good morning. See you like Guardian. Guardian gets it. Oh, I'm just so tired. You guys wanted the E's are up at 5:45. What the hell are you doing up so damn early? Go back to bed. Cheyenne. We don't know why we're up the E's. I'm just telling you, we don't know why. I just had a wild hair. Maybe it was a cold hair up my butt because it's pretty stinking cold in Florida. I'm just saying. And if it's cold in Florida, it's freezing everywhere else. It's freezing everywhere else. Yeah, kids. Aw, yeah. I guess you guys do have to get up in the morning. That's the one thing I don't have. I've got a Delilah. Oh my gosh, I was running around. We got a new song for Delilah. It's an oldie but a newie. I was walking around here because I don't know what got this, and I'm like, Delilah. Guys get it? Elvira? Delilah. Bapa, bapa, mow wow. Bapa, mow wow. My heart is on fire for Delilah. I was running around here singing my little heart to Delilah. Delilah. bop, ba mow wow, bop, ba mow wow. Well, hopefully I made you laugh because I'm crying. I got tears rolling down both sides of the eyes. So if you guys see me doing this, it's because I'm either yawning and tears are rolling down, or I'm laughing and tears are rolling down. No matter what the heck I do, I squint, I say hi, I sneeze, tears are rolling down. You guys get the theme? Tears are always flooding out of Bullhorn Betty's eyeballs, okay? They're just sweating a little bit, that's all. Is that the hen house? Well, good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Patty, good morning. Michelle, hey. It's nice to see you. We're not doing a whole bunch of anything. If you're coming here for breaking news, I gotta tell you, we broken. We just ain't breaking news. I'm just saying. It's saying it doesn't recognize me. I don't even recognize myself. It's called Bedhead Betty. Okay, computer. It's called Bedhead Betty. Get it going. So I figured while we are waking up, we might as well do some work together, and I figured we'll do our morning research together. You guys want some behind the scenes. Now, you're not going to get to see the searches I'm doing. That's kind of, a little too much. That's a little TMI, okay? But we're gonna drink some coffee and say good morning to one another. Barbosa, good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. Oh, Melodee, giving me a pumpkin latte. We love Betty. What? A latte. Oh. Is it this goofy and Casa Bullhorn in the morning? It really is. Okay. Delilah usually has me cracking up all morning. She really does. And this morning she's still in bed. Okay. She's still in bed. Usually she's the one that's licking my face and stuff like that. But she had to go potty, so we went outside. The cats were outside, so I did my handy dandy maneuver of getting some cat food so they wouldn't distract Delilah like they usually do. And she went out there and did her business, and she came back in and ran back to the bed and stuck her butt up back out under the covers. So that's where she is at the moment. She's still under the covers. I don't know, she's probably waiting for me to come back in there because we have a morning routine, and the morning routine is she'll poke her head out of the covers, and then she'll do this little cute little thing with her paws over her nose, and then she'll keep snaking. Oh, thank you, Mama, for the flowers. I appreciate it. She'll keep snaking, right, until her whole body's out of the covers, and then she'll start stretching. Oh, stretching, right? And then you got to start rubbing her down, and then she starts shaking and starts scratching, and then you got the right spot. You're good. That's usually our mornings, but the mornings this morning is kind of already off. That's why I went live. I already knew today was going to be one of them days. I'm not feeling it. It's cold outside. I've got my gold digger shirt on. I got literally half, okay? I'm just going to tell you, I had goals this weekend. Goals in mind. And I got half of my chores I gave myself this weekend to do done. So, not really proud of laziness, but lazy I was. Quite a bit of the weekend. I got all the laundry done. The kitchen looks good, right? I've already got lunch prepared. If you guys can't figure it out. It's clam chowder. If you guys don't know what I'm eating for lunch. We got clam chowder on the menu today. Nothing special. And I'm going to be studying. It's Monday. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go and give the Moms for Liberty a hand tomorrow in Largo. But one thing I can tell you that I'm noticing throughout all of the TikTok and stuff like that, if you guys have not started, we know we're in a shutdown, right? We know we're in the month of Thanksgiving, and there are a lot of families that are going to be getting together for a Thanksgiving meal. Now, while I truly do believe the EBT system is being abused, I absolutely believe it. there are still families that absolutely are dependent upon it, that are not abusing the system, that truly need the money to feed their family. And those are the people that are going to suffer. The people that use it to buy fingernails and hairdos and shit like that, they're just going to be upset and want to go rob somebody. You can always tell the ones that really need it versus the ones that are abusing the system, because the ones that are abusing the system are also entitled. The ones that are not are saying, you know what, we need to go hit up the food banks, right? We need to go hit up the food banks and the charities. Those are the ones that really need it. And so my request to everybody today is, I know here in Manatee County, there are a lot of people that are collecting donations for Meals on Wheels. Our churches, our counties are setting up little bins all over the county, at our libraries, at our parks that are, you know, manned. Like GT Bray is a manned park. We have employees that are at that park, that run the park, because we have, you know, pools there. We have other things that people have to pay to use, resources for the county at the county park. So what I'm going to ask everybody here, and I know that there are the givers and there are the ones that need it. So this is only speaking to the ones that do not need help, that, you know, do not need government assistance, that do not need, that have your own bills taken care of and your own food. What I'm going to ask of you is for each of you to find out where there's your local food bank. And I'm going to ask each of you to please donate at least 5 non-perishable items to that food bank at minimum. If you have more to give, excuse me. If you have more to give, please give more. If you have none to give, please go there and get some food. You know, again, this is the month of being thankful and being giving. And I hope that everybody that can give does give. And the people, and if you need something, take what you need, but don't take more. This is a time where we need to ration that food for a lot of people. And I know sometimes when you're struggling and you don't know where your next meal is coming, you always want that extra something, just so you know it's there. I'm just going to ask of you, please don't do that. Make sure you take what you need. And a great idea, Lisa B, always volunteer. I know that there are a lot of soup kitchens out there that could use help this year. If you know anything about me, if you're alone this year and you're depressed because you're alone, there's nobody there to cut, you know, a turkey with. There's nobody there to open up a present with on Christmas. Why are you doing it alone? You can be around other people. And there is nothing more liberating than helping somebody that truly has nothing. There's nothing more that will make you appreciate your life more than being around a bunch of people that are very happy to be alive, that have nothing. It's a very good experience. And if you have children, you know, this would be a great experience for them too. The sooner you can start getting your children involved, the more rounded they have, they'll be, the more experiences, good experiences, they'll have, you know? So it's just one of those things that I truly hope and pray that if you can help, you will this time of year. It does look like we're about to, unfortunately, I disagree with this, but looks like we're about to enact the nuclear option. It looks like we're getting the country back open one way or another. What does this mean? I know you guys probably don't understand. What does the nuclear option mean? It basically means it's about to retire our filibuster. Our filibuster has been around for centuries, okay? It's been a tool that's been used, but it's also been a weapon that's been utilized. What was supposed to be an opportunity to help us come to the table has been weaponized, and it's been weaponized to the point that it's literally taking the smallest will of our entire population and giving them so much power that they can literally shut down our country or extort us out of $1.5 trillion. We're not giving up $1.5 trillion. Is this going to affect us in the future? It will. And it's very scary. And that's why I've opposed this position for a really long time until President Trump brought a point up to me. And it's a point I cannot dispute. And he didn't bring it up to me, he brought it up to everybody. It's the fact that when the Democrats are in office, they're going to kill the filibuster anyways, and we know that that's what they're eager to do when they become all in power, because it only means a simple majority is what you need to pass all this stuff. Right now, you need a super majority. That means 60 votes. So right now we have 55 senators that are Republican. So if all 55 of our senators voted yes for any bill, we still can't open the government up because we still need 5 Democrats, and that's where they have their control, is those 5 Democrat seats. And so that's what they're using to shut the government down. So with the nuclear option, we would only need a simple majority, which we already have. We have 53 senators that are willing to vote for the clean CR. And that's what Donald Trump wants. He wants them to do the nuclear option, and that will set precedent and basically retire our filibuster. Again, I am a person of principle when it comes to our country and our rule of law and politics. So I've been... I'm terrified of removing the filibuster because I played the tape through. But when Donald Trump told us yesterday that, if Democrats were in office, they would have tanked the filibuster, that rings true. I know they absolutely would, because they want to stack our Supreme Court, and they're never going to be able to do that without first, killing the filibuster. So we're going to do it first, it sounds like. We're going to get the country back up and running and back open. Mike Johnson disagrees with it. I disagree with it, but after making that statement, I'm all for it, because he's absolutely right. If Democrats were in office, they would have already killed it. So they're planning on doing that as soon as they're back in power anyways. So we might as well use it for our benefit. And for the first time, I'm actually on board with killing the filibuster. So that's where we're at. But it looks like we're hopefully going to get the, it's unfortunate that it has to be, it is. But this is the right thing. We can't let families suffer. I mean, the Democrats are, I'm sorry, and not the regular mom and pops, but your party leaders are evil. Okay. When you start using babies and women and infants as leverage, you're no longer legislating. You're no longer Congress. You are freaking Maduro. I don't know what you call it, but that's some communist crap. And I am just, I can't believe that. Yeah, I can. It's money. It always comes down to power and money. And they need the $1.5 trillion. Why? Because they launder the money. It comes back into their bank accounts. We've cut the purse off. That's what's making them so disgruntled. That's what's making all this stuff. We cut the purses off, and we're removing their unlawful and illegal voters. So everybody's pissed off right now, and that's fine. And as you see, they're having temper tantrums, and that's what I look at it. Okay, well, anyways, let's get off that subject. You guys got an idea. It looks like the filibuster is most likely going to go away. It looks like we're going to activate the nuclear option, and it looks like we're going to open the government back up. So for the people, but in the meantime, people are still struggling. People are out of food, and we've got women and children. We've got a lot of entitled brats that are abusing the system. But in the sea of entitled brats are real lives that really need this stuff, and they're the ones being caught up in all of this bickering back and forth. The real people that need the real help, and those are the people that I give a crap about, right? I really don't care about people that want to use the money to go get their hair done, or to go sell the food stamps so they can get new Michael Jordans. Okay, I'm not down like that. Okay, there are truly families that if they don't get this food, they cannot eat. They cannot eat. And that's what people don't understand. And it's a sad existence. It's just a sad situation. So, getting back on Melodee, let's talk a little bit about Melodee, because this is going to be an interesting topic of conversation. Oh, there's my new. I got some new hats. Can you tell? I love that hat. I got two of these. I got one that's leather and one that's suede. I like the suede one. Right. Okay. Anyways, enough of that. Okay, I gotta quit being so damn conceited. I'm just joking. All right, where's our peeps? There it is. I think it's this one here. Okay, there we go. So Melodee Buzzard. We're gonna go through this because there's not a whole lot I can actually say. Is the real Me Too in here now? Good morning, the real Me Too. It's nice to see you. Anybody else come in that I missed? Robin, good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. Narco Clips, it's nice to see you. Are they going to release the Epstein files? That's a great question. I know that there's been some additional documents released. From what I'm understanding, there is like 3 court orders. This is just my understanding, so bear with me. Let me get this all out so I can express that to you. I don't know what they're doing. I do know that 1,200 additional pages were released like in the last month. So if that's beneficial for the people that are monitoring this, I know it's kind of gone silent and dormant, but there are still a few people, but there are things being dropped out. My understanding is there's 3 different court orders in place. And while the Democrats are complaining about, not getting these things released, Tom Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene to boot, right? They're all complaining about these files. But at the end of the day, there are 3 court orders preventing things from being released, okay? We all know about court orders. We're in true crime, okay? We know how important these court orders are, and we know if you violate those court orders, you could go to jail, okay? You could really go to jail. I'm in Florida. If I do violate a court order in Arkansas, they can have me extradited back to Arkansas, okay? Do you guys get it? So we know how important these court orders are. Well, the Department of Justice went to those 3 judges, and asked them to allow them to release the documents, and all 3 of those judges said no. So we're in a predicament where the Department of Justice is wanting to release some more stuff than they're releasing. However, the court orders will not allow them to. And they even went as far as going back before those judges to have those court orders reversed. And those court orders still won't be reversed. So now what they're doing is they're taking the court orders, they're looking at what they have, and they are releasing what they can, and what doesn't violate privacy, and what doesn't put child, this is CSAM stuff, guys. They can't just drop this. A lot of this content is unlawful for them to even be possessing. And many people don't understand. CSAM is CSAM no matter who's possessing it. So if it's being possessed by our government, there's a lot of protocols that they have to go through in order to, keep those videos in CSAM safe from being distributed anywhere else. They have some stringent requirements because, let's face it, even if a federal agent had CSAM, they could be arrested and go to jail. It depends on, is this for a case or is this theirs? So there is massive protocols on these things, and they can't just release that. And anybody with a common sense understands that. But I think more in line with people want to see the flight manifests and stuff like that. And I have to agree because, we know that Bill Clinton was on there. We know George Clooney was in there. We know that Prince Andrew was in there. We know that there were a lot of people, but who are the other names? We don't know, right? Who are the other predators out there that, we're curious because we don't ever want to shake the hand or support a politician or anybody that could do this. I mean, at the end of the day, you either have a moral compass or not whether you can afford to do something, not whether you can, take a plane outside of the jurisdiction of the United States to do criminal activity. It's at the end of the day, these were young girls that their whole entire lives were destroyed because of these people, and they didn't care. They thought that because they were this hoity-toity, well-to-do, that they were entitled to that. And that's, I think, the curiosity of many of us. At least that is for me. So I get the whole Epstein files and stuff like that, but there has been additional stuff being dropped. They are dropping is what they can. And I know it's a major talking point and a sticking point and a wedge issue for that matter. But what the Democrats don't want people to know, or Tom Massey for that matter, is there are truly court orders preventing a lot of this shit from being released. And the Department of Justice has gone to court to try to get those orders because it's been so many years. So they don't understand why the judges wouldn't release it, but the judge isn't. And maybe they're not doing it for political purposes. We know about lawfare. Lawfare could be used like this, where they're not going to release it, so the Democrats can say, look, they're not trying to release it. Oh, let's go pitchfork up, right? And it all comes down to the fact that these judges won't release the information. And, in all fairness, nothing's breaking Tom Massey or the Democrat Party from also, going to court and requesting these judges to release those orders, to reverse those orders. They could do that. You don't see them taking any legal action. Why? Wouldn't legal action be the next step? So that's my problem. So we have a talking point here. We have, a wedge issue here, and everybody's pointing at the other finger, but who actually took action? The DOJ took action. They took action to go before the judges to see if they can release more information, and the judge denied them. What has Tom Massey done? What has Marjorie Taylor Greene done? What has the Democrat Party done? Have they brought action to those judges and demanded the release? No, they've done nothing except point the fingers over at the Republicans and say, see, look, they're withholding. Facts matter, right? Those details matter. Well, it's pretty interesting whenever you have freaking court orders. I'm not violating a court order. If a judge tells me I can't release this stuff, I'm not going to release this stuff. Even if the whole world was beating on my door telling me to release it, I'm going to go to jail if I release it. I know that. So did you see the quagmire and how effective these wedge issues are? Because the Democrat Party knows that they push, and so does Tom Massey. If they push hard enough, people get angry. Angry at what? Their court orders. Nobody's stopping the world from going to those judges and demanding them reverse those court orders and being done with it. But nobody wants to talk about that. Just saying. Truth to power. People don't like the truth. All right, let's get off the subject. So Melodee Buzzard is a 9-year-old girl that we heard was missing for a year. And then mom takes this erratic trip, and then boom, the child's gone and gone forever, right? Sounds pretty horrific. Sounds like mom, abused this child to death. And then when the noose was closing in on her, she disposes of the bag of bones, if you will, right? That's the story. That's the story law enforcement wants us to believe. That's the story the school wants us to believe. And then we have a non-cooperating mother, which in all accounts, normally Bullhorn Betty would be out in front of her house in a recliner with a bullhorn and signs saying things like, how does it feel knowing that your child has maggots crawling all over, trying to provoke a response out of the mom. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds horrid that I would say something like that, but at the end of the day, I need to find out what I'm dealing with, right? Am I dealing with a soulless person like Leilani Simon, or am I dealing with somebody that actually gives a crap, like say a Brandy Neal? At the end of the day, I'm not disputing that this child was removed from her home, that she took this child out of state. I'm not disputing that at all. My dispute comes in with one, why did she take this child out? Why did she disguise this child? This child right here is wearing a wig. So it sounds like we are, dealing with a parent that couldn't handle life anymore, and the child was causing her grief, so she needed to alleviate herself from the problem. Again, that is the narrative law enforcement wants us to believe. However, However, here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, we always dig deeper. We always strive for the truth. We always try to strive for transparency. I have given Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department an opportunity to answer questions, which I knew going in this, they wouldn't answer it, but they did refer me over to a website. I had an opportunity to talk to them about the drywall, and I keep wondering, that poor lady had her drywall ripped out of the house. Is that because of the questions that we had? Like, it would look like fresh drywall. Anybody could see it appeared that it wasn't with the house. Somebody cut off something, and so maybe they thought she might have been in the wall. Now, I'm not sure why they think this child is in this home. Good morning, Pete. It's nice to see you, love. I'm not sure why they think this child is in the home, especially when their own statements imply that this child would not be in the home. It would imply that even if this mother did something to this child, that she probably disposed of this child somewhere in Nebraska. So that was kind of the dynamic that we're going with this case. I'm all up in arms. I'm kind of angry with the mom. I'm looking at this case. This mom's not cooperating. And I'm with everybody else. I'm with Court TV. I'm with News Nation. I'm with, the Los Angeles Times. I'm hook, line, and sinker. This mom is abusing this child, and God knows what she did. God knows what she did to this child, right? I was right there with it. Then there was this segment that came on from Court TV, and Vinnie Politan was on there, and something that he said, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. It literally, I felt enraged. I don't know what it was. I felt enraged. And I remember blurting out of my mouth, how do we know that? And that's when a light bulb went off my head, and I'm like, maybe this is the angle. So I went back and I started looking at the case, and I'm like, okay, what do we know about the case? And so I sat down with my folder and I started going through all the details of the case. We've learned that, the in-laws haven't seen this child in 4 years. We heard that Lori Jean Miranda, Ashlee's mother, hasn't been in this child's life for 1.5 years, 2 years. And then we're hearing that this child hadn't been seen in the school and hasn't completed any work for 1 year. So based on those, when I'm putting the case together, it's telling me that 1 year ago, something majorly happened in this child's life. This child was probably injured, if not deceased. And the mother has been living like that since, right? Nobody has seen this child, and she's made sure she kept the child out. Now, the school is now questioning, where's this child, sending emails, making phone calls to the family, and most likely even coming to the home and knocking on the door. And it probably spooked Ashlee, because the only time she's ever gotten knocks at the door before were people trying to take her daughter. And I have to assume that that's kind of, when she decided she needed to get out of the county and need to take whatever she did to Ashlee, Melodee, she needs to hide. So she's taking Melodee, the bag of bones, so to speak, out of the state so she's not busted. So we heard that Melodee was with the mother on October 10th, and I'm still hook, line, and sinker into this case. Like, is she dead? Was Melodee alive? Was she dead? When I even expressed that and started talking about, Madeline Soto and some of the statements made by law enforcement about Stephen Stern, and the morning that Madeline left with Stephen Stearns to go to school and all that. She was deceased before she ever got out of her house. So when law enforcement saw her in the car with him, they knew she was dead. They didn't tell the public that, but they knew she was dead. And I thought that maybe that was the same situation we were dealing with here. Hey, Ashlee. Hey, Alicia. It's nice to see you, love bugs. And I thought we were dealing with the same type of situation here. So you can imagine when we get these images of this child at the rental car place, one, the shock. I didn't even realize you guys were here when we realized that this child was in a disguise. And I'm like, a disguise? Like, I didn't even think that it was a wig. I thought her hair was just a little matty, like not brushed, not being well taken care of. The mom's a psychopath, you know, mentally ill. And so I had to come back to the drawing board. And everything that we learned about this case, I found out is not true. There was a major familial fight that happened after Rubiel passed away. Rubiel's family wanted to take his last child from her mother. There's no other way to explain it than that. Whatever the reason is, they wanted to adopt this child and take the mother out of her life. Okay? So there was a very clear family issue, a very deep family issue that explains why she kept this child away from this family for 4 years. Okay? So she hasn't had the Department of Children and Family Services. She hasn't had a court order in 4 years. And then all of a sudden, everybody's looking for a child after 4 years of being in her custody and everything's just hunky-dory. Now all of a sudden she's a threat. So these are the things that I started, uncovering when I, started really sitting down to analyze this case. And I'm like, wait a minute. So we came into this case, this child had not been seen by anybody in over a year. That is detrimental. But that was a lie. This child was with her mother where she was supposed to be. That year, the past year, all the way up to October 7th, they even have a proof of life video that this child was exactly where she was supposed to be with her mother, which she was. And this is the exact day her mother says, you know what? We need to get you out of the state. Something ain't feeling right with me. I'm getting you out of the state. They went this direction one other time before, and that's when Rubiel's family was trying to adopt this child. She went and lived in Marshalltown, Iowa. Well, if you look at the map, guess what's on the other side of Nebraska? And it appears, according to Matt Thibodeau's reporting, that somebody may have seen this child at a Walmart near Omaha, Nebraska, just on this side of the border of Iowa. So everybody's now saying, oh, well, maybe the mother sold the child. I don't believe any of that. You guys already know. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse, but I do want you to understand why I feel the way I feel. And then when you look at that, you say, okay, well, let's test the theory. Am I potentially right? Is there potentially, does law enforcement not have probable cause? Let's look at this. Well, they're going inside her house, right? So they must have some type of probable cause. We don't know what their probable cause is to go inside their house, but we know they do not have probable cause to put handcuffs on her. Because if they had probable cause to put handcuffs on her, they would have put handcuffs on her. So clearly, they have not established that she's harmed this child, which is a major establishment. You have to establish. So why are they in the house ripping stuff out? Because they want to establish that this woman is harmed. If they can even manufacture it at this point, the scintilla of possibility that this woman has injured her child, they will absolutely do that to force this woman to produce her child. They just want to produce this child. I've never seen anything in my life. I don't believe this child is in harm's way. I really don't. I believe this was a paperwork issue. I believe this was pushed by the other side of the family. And I believe that that's why we're here in this situation. I do not believe they have probable cause for any of this. And I think that that is supported because we do not have an Amber Alert or an endangered child alert. We have nothing for this child. We have nothing official from this child other than this child is missing from Lompoc, California, according to the school, which the school, again, said she was missing for a year. And then, oh, by the way, she was in our office on August 2025. Well, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. I don't like how this is looking. I don't like how this is smelling. And there's not a whole lot. And this is why I said I'm having a hard time. Like even last night, I was going to come live, and I'm even having a hard time coming live. So our cases that we have right now are Michael Monkey Vaughn, which I expect that to start heating up now that we're getting arrests. Michael Monkey Vaughn, we still have Sebastian Rogers, but in all fairness, in my experience, I feel like this case is truly cold, and it's truly cold at no other hands but the law enforcement. Law enforcement has done nothing on this case. They've done no searches. They've done 8 days worth of searching. And if you look at any other missing person case of this magnitude in any other county in the state of Tennessee, you'll realize that Sumner County is underperforming. Absolutely underperforming. And we have to ask why. Well, we got to remember all those rumors we heard at the very beginning about how friendly all law enforcement and government officials are with the Proud Feet and the Bower Sox. And you guys got that. Now, I will tell you this, now that we're on the subject of Sebastian Rogers, we do have some form of breaking news, folks, on this case. So if you're here, you guys are going to get this. Hold on a second. Let me get to where I need to go. No. There. All right. You guys know we were searching for Sebastian, and I was arrested for being out there in my vehicle, my personal vehicle, driving on public roadways, and filming from my vehicle and investigating for journalistic reporting the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And this corrupt county not only sided with the Proudfoots, but actually conspired with them to try to have me arrested. They thought that if they intimidated me, I would shut up. And that was their only focus, to keep my mouth shut. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I wouldn't shut up. Even after being arrested, I told them to go fuck themselves. And I'm still telling every single person, Judge Ron Blanton, go fuck yourself, right? And they can clip this and bring it to court, but it'll never see the eyes of the day. And if it does, well, I'm going to be appealing this, which I've appealed just about everything out of that corrupt county because they're corrupt. One of those things one of those areas that I identified as being a major area that we need to search more prior to my arrest and basically being forced, because law enforcement is complicit in this, as the Proud Feet are, in my opinion, because they're too stupid to realize otherwise. Brandon Carter, horrible detective, probably could never hack it in any other market. Sheriff Snuggle Struggles, he doesn't never need to be sheriff again. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to make sure that he holds no public office ever again in the history of the rest of his life. I don't like him that much. Do I have the ability to? I don't know, but I damn sure going to try. When I come after people, I let people know I'm coming after them. I've already let my Board of County Commissioner know. Amanda Ballard, I'm coming after her. She's not too happy with it. She's already given me a piece of her mind. Through a Facebook DM. Like I remind her, I'm only one vote, and here in this county, I'm no vote, right? I'm no vote, right? So, anyways, my biggest problem was the area behind the Bower Sox. I said that really does make sense. I mean, we looked at the details. Chris had an opportunity to, the Bower Sox left for an extended period, very awkwardly during this search for Sebastian Rogers. And then Chris takes this 24-hour hiatus where nobody knows where he is, but he's allegedly going to get the trailer, that they end up turning around and going back and parking in the same spot. So it tells me that spot was still his, right? Because he rents a spot. That lot he rented. So he said, oh, my lot rent's coming due. Well, when he went back there, he should have gotten a different lot when he paid for paid for a new lot. There was plenty of lots when him and Katie went back, but they didn't. They got back in that same exact lot he had. Why? Because that was his lot that was still paid for. So his story about having to go pick up his trailer, or his trailer wasn't going to be there, or they were going to tow his trailer, or whatever the case may be, there was a lot. So we have the Bower Sox taking off to Alaska. We got Chris taking off to Mississippi to get his RV. Well, there's a house. There's a house all by itself. And that is off at Enoch. It's the Bowersox house because they're in Alaska. And Chris disappears for 24 hours. I've always thought that there was something that was. Even when we drove by it, I said, "This is the spot. This is a good spot. This is a good spot right here, right here." And then I'm finding out today that back in April 2025, which a lot of stuff happened in April, a lot of stuff happened. This is when we're hearing that search warrant for the Bowersox or the Proud Feet. Was just them being told to come to my court hearing on April 10th, and now we're finding out that truly was a warrant that was executed for their electronics. So they lied to us about that. Well, listen to this. Also in April 2025, that same month that they're forced to turn over their electronics, Kathy Bowersox is in the meeting. The Gallatin City Council meeting opposing a construction of 12 multi-family homes behind her home. So residents of Enoch Hill are raising concerns about proposed developments that would significantly alter their neighborhood. During the recent city council meeting, local resident Kathy Bowersox voiced her apprehension regarding plans to construct 12 multifamily units behind her home. Bowersox, a real estate agent with deep ties to the community, highlighted that when homeowners purchased their property, they were assured of existing zoning and the absence of multifamily housing in the area. Bowersox's concerns are multifaceted. She questioned the nature of the proposed multifamily units, seeking clarity on whether they would be market rate, subsidized, or age-restricted housing. The uncertainty surrounding the type of development has left residents feeling uneasy about the potential impacts of their community. Additionally, Bowersox raised practical issues related to infrastructure, especially and specifically water pressure. Didn't we have those two big circle thingies? This is back there behind her property. Hey, Seclusion, it's nice to see you. Gina, it's nice to see you. Crystal Pistol, Veronica, good morning, ladies. I hope you guys are doing well. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Ashley, good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. So definitely interesting stuff that I because I identified those woods behind her house as being, this is back in April 2025. Now, I'm pretty sure if he was back there, they've moved him again because they don't want to be found, right? So I just don't know what's going. I just can't stand this community. I really can't. They have some of the great people in their communities, but golly, their leadership in this community is so immoral. It's just, it has no integrity. It has no class. It has no character. The leadership in this community sucks. It sucks. They need more TP USA people like Riley involved in this community. I am so pleased to see that Riley is involved. I mean, she's a huge name. Being on the library board, I mean, that is huge. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm going to Largo, is because there's this, person. I'm just going to tell it like it is. I'm getting sick and tired of walking into places and not feeling comfortable to be there. Nobody needs a parade or a flag to advertise who they're sleeping with. Okay. I think it's immoral. I think it's wrong. I don't need a flag to say I'm heterosexual, and I damn sure don't need a parade down a road to say I'm heterosexual. I don't think anybody that's gay or lesbian needs that either. Okay, I'm sorry. Nobody cares. Okay, this is 2025. I don't care what you have in your mouth. I doubt you care what I have in mine. Okay, so let's knock it off. Let's knock it off. And when I go into a library and all I see is gay pride flags everywhere, is that welcoming of a heterosexual person? I'm just asking. Do you think that library is welcoming
They're only welcoming a small segment of their population, and that is wrong. Okay, it's just wrong. And that's got to end. We've got to stop it. We're not going to be celebrating something as private as sex in this country. I'm sorry. If you're happy that you're out of the closet, well, congratulations. I'm happy for you. Okay, I'm still not willing to march down a freaking road over. Yay. Okay, yay. Nobody cares. Okay, that's my point. Nobody cares, folks. I love you for who you are. I don't care who you're sleeping with. I don't want to see the parade. I don't want to see the flag. I'm happy for you. Have a wonderful relationship like everybody else does. Okay? And that's the problem we have in our school, not our school, in our libraries. Our libraries are welcoming of only one type of person. And that's got to change, folks. It just has to. The City Council response to these concerns will be crucial in determining the future of Enoch Hill subdivision. But at the end of the day, we want that area dug up, you know? And if they're fearful of it being dug up, I hope they have people, you know, monitoring Christopher Proudfoot. I don't trust the man. I don't care whether this county trusts them or not. Any law enforcement, any smart law enforcement, which is few and far between in Sumner County, would know, you know, you cover your ass. Is there a possibility? The answer is yes. If the answer is yes, you have to do whatever you do. They only gave this boy literally 8 days. And Eric Craddock, Sheriff Snuggle Struggles, can go in there and ask for a raise for himself, can go in there and ask for his office to be redone, but can't ask for money to go out and help search for the only missing child and the highest, the most high-profile case that they've ever had in that community. And he still is crickets. He's a disgrace. If he can't walk and chew gum, if he can't keep the public engaged and informed and do his job of investigating, he's shit. And you guys need to realize Eric Craddock is shit. You guys deserve better. You deserve a real sheriff. You got a toy sheriff, okay? That's what you got. You got a cops and robbers sheriff, okay? You got a little boy running your sheriff's department, okay? You need a man, okay? You need a real man. That's a little boy, okay? Let's retire the little boy and get a real man, okay? So we'll see how that all goes, but that's Sebastian Rogers' case, and you know, we're still fighting with the county. We're trying to do an event in February. It doesn't, you know, I'm trying to get at least 100 bodies out there. It doesn't even look like right now we've got about 20 or 30, but it's just not enough. We need to have, if we're gonna do this in February, it's got to be, we got to go big or go home. I'm not coming out there for anything less than 100 people out there on those roads, because we're there to impact and force change. We're there to apply pressure. We can get 30 people. Yeah, it'll be an amazing event, because I only need an event that has 10 people or more. But the problem is this is a specific and a special event. This is one where we are going to be out there. We're going to be waving. We're going to be happy. We're going to be reminding people about Sebastian Rogers still missing from the community, and how many people still fighting for him to find out what happened, and remind him remind everybody he was last seen with his mommy. And there's no evidence he ever walked out of the house. We need to remind the people what we're dealing with, because you know those slimy little backroom deals where people start spreading around misinformation in their own community to dissuade people from giving the stink eye, because their police department is more concerned about the reputation of these assholes than they are of a missing child. They're a disgrace. Sumner County is a disgrace. They're a disgrace. Eric Craddock, when that badge comes off, I hope they retire it. Like, take a freaking a cop car and run over the badge. He was a disgrace. He wasted so much time and so much money in that community. He lost that community $200 million. There's only one person to blame for that, and that was Eric Craddock. So you guys lost a crap ton because you hired the wrong guy. You hired the wrong guy, and you guys are paying for that. So listen to this, guys. I found out that Austin Drummond, you know, that crazy crackpot dude that unalived like 4 of his kind of in-laws. I can't even remember their names, but it was his wife. Here he is. There he is, right there. This is Austin Drummond, right? And so he has a girlfriend that he had while he was in prison. He was doing 10-year stint in prison, and this girlfriend worked for the Department of Corrections and was in his prison. He had phones. He was even able to get a firearm in the prison. He was charged with attempted homicide, and they let him go after that attempted homicide charge instead of keeping him in jail. Well, he ended up going out, and his pregnant girlfriend, he ended up unaliving her sister, her niece and nephew, and her niece's boyfriend. He executed them. Now, her niece and her boyfriend had a baby. The baby lived, but all 4 of them died. They had his whole entire gang. There was 4 other people, 4 other accomplices that they had in jail before they caught him. He went on the run. He ended up staying at this ritzy, talk about an entitled piece of crap. He went to this ritzy part of the area and stayed in somebody's pool house that was not even around. They were out of the country or out of the state on vacation and were not around. And their groundskeeper ended up coming face to face with this guy and thought he was going to get shot. Well, he just went to court because they don't know what to do with Austin Drummond. Austin Drummond knows he's not getting out. He's like facing the death penalty, right? And so now he's acting out in jail, and he's doing things like spreading his feces on the door. Really disgusting, unhinged, crap he's doing. So now they are shipping him off to a Department of Corrections facility to help curb that. They're sending him to a state prison while he awaits trial to help, because I don't think the local police can handle his type of crazy. So that's what's going on. They had a hearing, and I think they are going to be sending him up Schitt's Creek now, literally. No pun intended. No pun intended. But that's just disgusting. Nobody wants to clean up poop off a door, and he wasn't the one that had to clean it. It was probably another inmate or a jail employee. That's just disgusting. So I just thought that was interesting, because you would think that somebody that's trying to plead their innocence or trying to say somebody else did it, they would act like they had some common sense, and try to act like a good person and try to play the part but this stuff here, this is getting news. This is showing a guy that's clearly deranged and unhinged. And it's I don't see how it's going to be beneficial or go with his trial strategy, right? And at the end of the day, that's what attorneys worry about, is the trial strategy. And now we've got him spreading feces on doors and stuff like that. So Michael Monkey Vaughn, again, a little boy that disappeared from his home July 27th, 2021, about 45 days after Summer Wells. And he has never been found. About, I don't know, I want to say it was like a year later, but maybe not. Give or take a year, I think, is when we started learning about Stacy, Sarah Wandra, Brandon Shurtleff, Adrian Lucen, is when they were finally identified as persons of interest in the disappearance of Michael Monkey Vaughn. Stacy Wandra is officially charged. It sounds like, from what I was watching Justin for All say, it sounds like he's more of the weaker link and probably didn't have as much to do with the actual kidnapping of this child, so to speak. I don't know. It seems like they believe all 4 were all involved, but somehow or another, it seems like Adrian, Brandon, and Sarah were kind of the clique. And it seemed like her husband, Stacy, was kind of, the third wheel. It was, the lady's weird, okay, guys? I can't express that enough. They had this taxi cab service. She went up to the airport to pick people up, to take them to their destination. And some of the guys she ended up bringing home and letting them live with her. It's just weird, okay? We're just look. And then she tries to act like she's like this ultra religious person. I'm sorry. It's just weird, okay? It's weird. But one thing I learned last night is it sounds like the dogs hit in the Wandra's backyard. It sounds like Stacy did identify that he was buried, that he watched Brandon and his wife bury this child in the backyard. Horrible stuff. But obviously that child was removed and moved. I found out from, it sounded like what Justin said, unless I misunderstood him, that there was also a hit under Brandon's mother's home. And we know that there was this weird trip to Brandon's mother's home. And it was to wash clothes, which never made sense. Especially since we knew, we talked about this at length, the mother said not to go in the house, yet he goes in the house. And I remember Stacy saying that they all stayed out in the truck while he went in the house and did whatever. And I didn't believe any of that. I don't believe any of that. I think Brandon is, I don't know why, like out of Adrian and all of them, I don't have the weird vibe like I do from Brandon. I don't. Like, Brandon's the one that gives me all types of creep vibes, but so does Stacy. Stacy Wandra, he gives me creep vibes too. I mean, he's kind of a weird dude, but all of them, like Stacy and Sarah are both weird. I think there's something wrong with them, like mentally wrong with them, especially Sarah. Sarah just, I don't know how to explain it, but I need to go try to find my footage in the Michael Monkey Vaughn case, because I got a footage of searches and other things there, speaking to people. There's a lot of footage that I do have on my phone that are at one time. I just got to find it. I remember when I was there, I think it was September 2022. I think if I recall correctly, it was September 2022. And if that's the case, then I need to go back to the dump file, like a 2022 or 2023 dump file. And my content should be there. So hopefully everything's where it needs to be, but I won't know until I start going into the dump files and looking at what content I have. But at that time, I was new to content creation, and I did not organize my content at all. None. It's probably going to take me a year to probably organize all the content for the first 2 years of me doing this. And Michael Monkey Vaughn was one of the newer cases, because my first case was Gabby Petito. Then it was Colin Knapp and Kathleen Moore. And we were leaving town from that case as we were covering the case of Summer Wells. And then after Summer Wells, we went out to Moab, Utah to follow the case of Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie out west, along with Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner, which we identified the suspect in that case. And then after that, we came back. I had a little bit of downtime. I coordinated with Dolly Vision. We had a Summer Wells event in Tennessee. Then did something in Idaho months, if not like a year later, something like that. And that was kind of that. And one of those cases that we covered together was Michael Monkey Vaughn. And what a sad case that was. But we covered a lot of land. And I will tell you, they had cornfields like right across the street from him. And Dolly ducked into one of those cornfields and like literally went in only like a foot. You couldn't see him. You couldn't see him. Any place where cornfields are, that's some scary stuff. Like, you can literally go into a cornfield and disappear. I've never seen anything like it in my life. You can't see him. He can wave his hands and everything. It's taller than you. These corn stalks are taller than you. You go in a foot. I mean, you can't see your hands. You can see, like, if you start moving some stuff, you can see the stuff, fluff up above you. But you can't see. 4 adults against one. I know. He didn't stand a chance. It's sad. But many people thought maybe that he was, taken because Sarah wanted a child, but I don't think. I think something much more perverted happened. Poor little boy. Just poor little boy. We have another situation going on in like the Oakley Carlson case. We haven't touched on Oakley Carlson in a while either. John Benet Ramsey. These are all my search criteria. I'm just going through some of my search stuff while we're waking up this morning. This is what I kind of do in the mornings. I just go through all of my search criterias, which are already set up. I just hit a button and then all my searches come up and checks it every single day. You and Dolly did great on this case, Gabby case and Baby Q. Yeah, Baby Q. Oh, that's right, Baby Q as well. Yeah, Georgia. I remember that. That was a tough case. I gotta tell you, it was tough. Seeing Leilani, that woman, she was dead inside. Like, there was nothing there to row her up. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was just, I can't express it. Just, I don't know any other word to say than dead inside. Like, you didn't get an expression out of her. You didn't get an emotion out of her. Her mom was just kind of commanding her around to do this, do that, and she did what she was told, but there was nothing there. Like, she was gone. And I've seen more life in her since she's been in prison than I did the whole time they were searching for her son. Like, she was just demonic. I mean, I don't know how that I don't know, like I was saying, like, how does it make you feel to have maggots on your son's head? You threw him in the dumpster and stuff, and she's just unfazed. Like, I would have been a wreck. I just wanted, I was just seeing where she gauged. I do things like that to see if the woman will break, how easily it will be to break her. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just to be mean. I know people are like, can you believe Betty said this? There's a reason why I say everything, and there's a reason why I do everything. It's to provoke responses. I'm trying to see what I'm dealing with. Am I dealing with a very volatile person that's up and down? Am I dealing with a person that's just not there, which is what Leilani was? Am I dealing with somebody that didn't do it? Like, even though I haven't been able to put my eyes on Ashlee Buzzard, I'm looking at her entire story, and her entire story is not screaming abused child. It's screaming she's protecting her child at all costs because she is terrified of losing her child. That's what my investigation has uncovered, and why I'm taking a different approach on the case with Melodee Buzzard, because it's not hitting the boxes that it needs to hit for me to go after a mom. But it is hitting some boxes, and it's hitting not good boxes related to the government. And, I know what I see when I see it, because I deal with it. I've dealt with it all over the country. I've dealt with it personally. And right now I'm dealing with a situation that a mom has every right to make the decisions for her child. She made the decision to get her child out of the state, out of California. Why? I don't know why. Okay? I don't know why. But who am I to ask a mother to explain her decisions to me? That's where I'm getting here. If there was probable cause, see, that's the thing. When the child was missing for 2 months, they had probable cause to ask her those questions. When the child was missing for a year, they had probable cause to ask her those questions. So I'm not saying that there is not a clear, where they can ask a parent, "Where's your child?" and the child needs to tell, and the parent needs to tell them where the child is. I absolutely still believe in that. But we give our law enforcement this ability to intrude in our life if there are certain elements met. Okay? So in order for them to be here in this woman's life, they would need to prove that she's a danger to this child, that she's neglected this child, that she's abused this child, or she's abandoned this child. Okay? Those are the rules. So if those things are met, then law enforcement has a right to encroach in your personal space and demand that you turn over your child or tell them where your child is. But you have to meet those criteria. When this child was missing a year, she met that criteria. When this child was missing 2 months ago, she met that criteria. So you see where I'm going with this? But when they located that child on October 7th, which they did because we have footage of it, they released the footage to the public. When they found her October 7th with her mother, her primary caregiver, her sole caregiver, her only caregiver, case was closed. She wasn't missing for a year and she wasn't missing 2 months. Case is closed. She was found. She was located. Now they're saying because this child isn't with her, they want to know where this child is. Well, first of all, you came into this case with this child being gone for a year, not seen with her mother. Well, we just saw her with her mother. Case is closed. But they didn't close the case. Now they're going into this woman's house, cutting out sections of her floor, cutting out sections of her wall, because she does not want to tell the state where her child is. And quite frankly, where I'm standing, they don't have the authority to ask. Hey, it's me, Jen. It's nice to see you, love bug. I hope you're doing well. And that's where I'm at. And I think that's where she's at. And people are like, well, she should just tell her. Well, you know what? When you're pissed off at the system and you're feeling like you're being railroaded by the system and you're terrified that that system is trying to take your child away from you, I don't think that's the problem. This is not a normal case where, you know, we think that, well, she should just show them the kid. She should just bring the kid. They're wanting to take her child. She's saying, no, you do not have the authority to take my child. I'm not letting you know even where my child is. It's not exactly. It's no one's business. And I think that's where we are. This is, again, I wouldn't be taking this approach if we had a missing child. But when we had a child missing for a year, I'm right there with the people on the outside of her house with the pitchforks and tell me where this child is, right? But this is not what we're dealing with. I think we're truly dealing with government overreach. It wasn't government overreach at the beginning. It sounds like it was a miscommunication, you know, a paperwork issue that turned into a miscommunication issue that turned into this insane, high-profile missing child case with a child that was taken by her mother out of state. Again, I'd like my audience to express to me what crime she committed here. If we believe she committed a civil crime or a criminal crime, then we should be able to identify that and discuss that. You know, why is law enforcement in her? Let me change Austin's photo. Why is law enforcement in this woman's business when? I mean, we could understand. Again, I don't want to beat up law enforcement. I understand why they're here. You know, they got a call from a school that said that a child has been out of their care and has been missing for a year. You know, that's scary, right? And then you investigate and you find out, well, the mother just took off in a rented vehicle halfway across the country and came back without a child. You know, this just sounds really terrifying, right? But when you start looking at the details of the case and you look at this child, I mean, I'm not seeing skin and bones. I mean, you can clearly see, I mean, we can't see the legs, but we would be able to see if she didn't have meat on her bones. Those are normal thighs for a child her age. This child doesn't look neglected. This child doesn't look starving for food. This child appears to be a normal height and weight for a 9-year-old child. I'm not seeing an overly thin 9-year-old child. I'm looking at a healthy kid here. I don't see any bruises on her face. I don't see any bruises on her arms or her hands, like defensive wounds or anything like that. Well, we don't know if she's not thinking straight. I mean, if somebody was coming after my kid, I mean, we got to look at the PTSD factor of this. The only other time she's ever taken this child out of the house, out of the state, was when she was fearful that that child was going to be in the custody of somebody else. And she had every right to feel that way because that's exactly what was going on. Somebody was trying to take her kid. And so in an effort to salvage her parental rights to her child, she fled the state and went to Iowa. Well, now her parental rights are being challenged again, and she fled the state again. The first time her parental rights were challenged, she fled the state. The second time her parental rights were challenged, she fled the state. Do you guys see the pattern here? This is the pattern that I see. Why wait a year to call? Do they? Exactly. That's another problem I have. And not only that, but the child alerts. There's no child alerts for this child. If this child was truly in harm's way, don't you think we would at least at minimum have an endangered child alert? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does it take to do an endangered? Let's look. Hold on a second. Let me just see what we got here. Let's look it up real quick. What is needed for an endangered child alert? I'll put California just in case they are different from state to state. California. Okay, so let's just read. I said endangered child alert, and they're putting up stuff for the Amber Alert. Let's just read the Amber Alert real quick. For an Amber Alert in California, a child must have been abducted, so we don't have an abduction here. 17 or under, she's 17 or be in an immediate danger, and there must be information that can help the public assist in the recovery. So they do have the drivers, the thing, but hold on. Let's see what kind of missing person. What type of missing person alerts does California have? Okay, so California has 7 types of missing person alerts. The Amber Alert, the Blue Alert, the Yellow Alert, the Feather Alert, the Ebony Alert, and the Endangered Missing Advisory. So let's see what the Endangered Missing Advisory Alert requirements would be. Hold on here. Okay, Endangered Missing Advisory, a general advisory that can be used in a situation that doesn't meet the criteria of other alerts, but still involves a missing person who is believed at risk. So let's go through the alerts we have. Hello, guys. Odds are there's an Amber on this youngster. Yeah, I don't think there's an Amber Alert on this guy, on her. Most places, kids don't go to school after so many days. Parents are charged with truancy. Well, see, the thing is this child was, I think this was a paperwork issue. That's my problem. Because this child had been pulled out and has been homeschooled for a while, for like a year or so. And so it sounds like Ashlee went up to the school just in August to enroll her in that homeschooling. Now, there's supposed to be this affidavit that the parents sign or fill out that needs to be returned to the school. And I remember reading it in the only statement. Let me see what I can find. Hold on. Lompoc Unified. Let's see. Lompoc Unified School District Statement. Melodee. it this one? Try to find the statement from the school. Maybe this one. Anyways, the Lompoc School District gave us a breakdown of what their steps are. Lompoc Unified School District said Friday that 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard, missing from Vanderburg Village, was first enrolled in the district just about 2 months ago. This is important because remember they said that she hasn't completed work in 2 months. I believe it's a paperwork issue. I believe they turned a paperwork issue into a federal investigation. I kid you not. I really think that that's what we're here. Because they say that she has not completed assignments in 2 months. Remember that. That's what they said. We all know that. We've been on that premise for days. That she didn't complete assignments for 2 months. And they're saying that 2 months prior to her disappearance, she was being enrolled in homeschooling. So it sounds like it comes down to this affidavit that her mom was supposed to sign and it may have forgotten to sign it or whatever. I don't think they assigned Melodee assignments because of the affidavit not being filed. And I think that this is just a complete misunderstanding that went overboard. It's what it looks like to me. So it says she was just first enrolled in that district 2 months ago and was seen in August, narrowing the timeline in the case. In a written statement released Friday afternoon, the district said Melodee and her mother, Ashlee, visited the Mission Valley Independent School in August. So she was seen in August to begin the registration process for independent study, a program which students work complete coursework off campus under teacher supervision. We appreciate our staff's vigilant and procedural follow-through, which accelerated the appropriate next steps, the district said, crediting employees for acting promptly. Well, we're hearing this child, they thought this child wasn't seen originally for a year, so I doubt it sounds like they acted promptly, but I digress. So Lompoc Unified noted that some early reports suggest Melodee had been missing since 2024 were inaccurate. Well, no shit. And that the staff had followed required procedures after noticing the child had not attended or collected assignments. It doesn't sound like the assignments were there to collect. Here it is. Under California education law, independent study requires ongoing contact between family and credentialed teachers. A student does not begin attendance or fails to engage, a school must initiate truancy protocols, including phone calls, written notices, and welfare checks requests through law enforcement. So it sounds like they were going through this. But it has to do with this affidavit. They talked about an affidavit. I don't see the affidavit aspect in this article here. It might be further down. The district said that it does not share the information earlier at the request of Santa Barbara County, which was the leading investigator, Superintendent Dr. Clara Finneran, could not be reached for additional comments. The sheriff's office commented that August sighting and credited the district for helping investigators narrow the timeline. So who called this in? Was it the school or was it not the school? Because if it was the school, they should have known this child was in August. There should have been no misunderstanding about a year ago. So who called this in? Was it another school district? Because it said that she signed up for this school district in August. And maybe the other school district. Again, it all sounds like a paperwork issue around this homeschooling. And it sounds like when she's gotten along to get along all this time, never had any problems, and then all of a sudden phone calls, letters. She probably knew that something wasn't feeling right. She got her kid out of Dodge. Lompoc Unified District deserves credit for recognizing something wasn't right, reaching out and continuing to assist in the investigation. Sounds like they did a disservice. It sounds like they didn't have their paperwork right. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm not going to give this school district credit for, doing this until we know what we're looking at here. And I think what we're looking at here is a bunch of people that had bunk information had a knee-jerk reaction, and here we are. Now, I could be wrong. I guess only time will tell. Only time will tell. I could be wrong. And we'll just keep it at that. I don't know what else to say. It's a little disheartening. But I just believe what I'm seeing. Which is good news, because I believe this child's okay. I don't believe this child is in danger. And I don't believe that law enforcement has the rights to be doing what they're doing to this woman. But again, I'm interested in finding out. I would like to know personally that Melodee's okay, and, you know, that I'm not off base here, because if I'm wrong, then a child's deceased. And that would bother me a lot if I got it that wrong. Oh, thank you. Oh, Sheila, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Child saved from suspect armed with knife after standoff with deputies. Ooh, this was right here in Florida. I heard about that last night. Sounds like a guy sliced his sister up and was holding his brother hostage with a knife. And law enforcement, they tried to get him away from the kid. He wouldn't. They ended up having to kill him. You do not play in Florida with if you got a hostage, they're gonna take you out. They don't care if you're family with these people. Their only job is to make sure that people are safe, and if they see somebody in harm's way, they have to neutralize the situation very, very quickly. So, all right, guys. Well, I think I've gone through just about all of our research that we were doing this morning. And it was nice to sit and have a chat with you. I don't know when we're going to go live. It's 8 o'clock, so we won't be live at 10 like we would normally be. Maybe it's going to be pushed back just a little bit. Maybe we'll do 11. I guess I could go on the other channel. Let me get my bearings together here and figure out what I want to do. I don't know what the heck I want to do today. I just woke up and I'm like, well, I was here and I was drinking coffee and I'm like, you know what? I didn't want to be here with just the pooch, you know? So I decided to come live and give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes and just talk to you guys, you know? Have a good day, everyone. You too, Rose. I hope you have a wonderful day yourself. Let me see what's on these two. Need danger child alert. Okay. Oh, let's go back to the child alert systems. Hold on here. I wanted to read that. Hold on a second. So we have so this is in California. We have an Amber Alert for abducted children, typically under the age of 17, who are believed to be in immediate danger. That's an Amber Alert. We have a Blue Alert. And this is issued when a law enforcement officer is threatened, injured, or killed in the line of duty. Oh, so horrible. Silver Alert for senior citizens or individuals with cognitive or physical disabilities. A Yellow Alert, which I don't understand why we have a Yellow Alert. That's the same thing, in my opinion, as an Amber Alert, but I digress. Activated after a hit and run incident where the suspect has fled the scene and is likely to be on the state highway system. Huh, interesting. Feather Alert is for indigenous people, and I found out that people that are indigenous to this country hate being called indigenous people. So, just to throw that out there with all the politically correct liberals, I'm just saying, not playing. Ebony Alert for missing Black youth and young women. And then this is the other one, and it's the Endangered Missing Advisory. And it's a general advisory that can be used in situations that don't meet the criteria of other alerts. So to me, it sounds like at minimum, we should have an Endangered Missing Advisory on Melodee. So do we have a missing? Let me make sure I use the exact same print. Endangered missing. Let me make sure I put endangered missing. See, didn't have it right. Endangered missing advisory for Melodee Buzzard. Okay, here's the FBI. Let's see what the FBI flyer says. Melodee appearance may have changed since the photographs were taken. They've updated the photographs. Seeking public's help to locate a missing, at-risk 9-year-old. They keep saying it's at risk, but I don't see any flyer for an endangered missing advisory. And that's the wording, the specific wording used in California. Endangered missing advisory. Let me go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Is there an endangered missing advisory in California for Melodee? Question mark. Okay, so who is the lead body, investigative body? Okay, so Santa Barbara County has no, I want to repeat this, no advisory, no at-risk, no, what's the name of their, oh, shoot, hold on, I'm sorry, I hit something and popped something out that I didn't mean to pop out. I hit something. I think I deleted it by accident. Hold on, let me see. History. Huh. So it appears that there is no, so the lead investigative body is a Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. The FBI Los Angeles field office is assisting in the investigation. They're assisting because she went over state lines. And they did have probable cause to assist in that situation, but the details of this case have changed. And the reason why law enforcement was involved in this case to begin with, it doesn't exist anymore. So I have some problems with how this is all being set up. But the only person that has put out even a missing flyer, let me see if there's a Santa Barbara, outside of the Aware Foundation, Santa Barbara County, Melodee Buzzard, missing flyer. Santa Barbara never even prepared never even prepared a missing person flyer. The only missing person flyer out there is the FBI created one, and they're not the lead investigative body. Santa Barbara is. So Santa Barbara, the state of California, has not issued an endangered missing advisory for Melodee Buzzard. And this goes into the point I've been trying to make, that if they truly had information that this child was in danger, in fact in danger, then we should have those reports saying so. We have one missing flyer from a federal agency, and that is the FBI. And they said that she's critically or at risk, is an at-risk missing child. And I don't know if she's an at-risk missing child because the details of this case have changed wildly since we first came on here. We were told this child was missing for a year. And then by the school. Nobody from the school has seen her. Then the school comes out and says, no, that's not true. We just saw her back in August. Well, I feel like this is a school paperwork issue that just turned into a federal investigation. I think it's insane. Just my opinion. That's my opinion. And I know there were some people that sent me emails, and I forgot to put them up because this was I wasn't planning on doing this. I wasn't planning on being on here for over an hour and a half this morning. I was just going to be here just to wake up and have a cup of coffee with you. And then we just started talking, and then we went from one case to another case to another case and just chatted, especially those who chase squirrels. Has the National Center for Missing and Exploited... that's a great question. Let's look. Let's look. Let's see. What do we have? Last name. Submit. No. I have nothing. Let me just put Melodee. I just only put Buzzard in there. I'm going to write Melodee. Buzzard. We have no... It's not even in the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Let's go to... is it NCIC? National Crime Information Center. I think it is. I'll have to find the one that we... NamUs. That's it. NamUs. That's it. NamUs. Okay, database. Let me see if she's a NamUs. Guys, we've got nothing. She's not in NamUs. She's not in National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The only person that has a missing file on her is the FBI. We've got the only person that's released a flyer, a missing person flyer, is the FBI. Not endangered if NCM. Yeah, it's not activated. Yeah, she's not in the system on National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. She's not in the system on NamUs, which is the United States database of missing people. I'm telling you guys, this just does not, it's not defying what we're accustomed to seeing in missing children cases. And again, I'm just surprised that I'm the only one screaming this from the rooftop. I keep, waiting for, like Vinnie Politan to bring it up, or Nancy Grace, or, Ashlee Banfield saying, wait a minute, something's not right here. Maybe we need to dig a little deeper, ask a little more tough questions to law enforcement to find out what's going on here, because I told you guys, this is defying logic when it comes to missing children. And I don't know why I feel this way, but I know that we've done this so many times, like it should be second nature to us. And when something is afoot and things aren't fitting in like they normally do, I have to ask why. And when I went back to find out why, it started turning ugly, and I'm starting to question California and Lompoc and Santa Barbara County. You know? Hey, Selena. Photos from the car place would be clearer, in my opinion. The chin is distorted. Yeah, they could have cleaned it up. I cleaned it up as much as I could, but yeah, they could have cleaned it up. And I expect that these images are much clearer than what they can set these things to be kind of pixelated, and I think they do that because let's face it, the FBI has amazing photo editing software. They could have cleaned these up if they really wanted to, you know. So I don't know. I'm not finding her anywhere. If you guys can find her in the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, send that to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you guys can find her and name us, send that to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. It only appears. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Carmela. I appreciate that. So I really think that I've got this analysis done correctly on this one. I really do. It was kind of scary. I mean, think about it. It was kind of scary when I started going through this file and started seeing this stuff, and I'm like, oh, you know, to try to vocalize that, especially as tough on crime as I am, and how we have no problem taking a parent and running them under the bus, and this lady's not talking, and you know how. But I'm looking at it. Doesn't change the fact that we still investigate these cases the same exact way, you know. And so Julie is talking about it now. Who? Julie who? Because if you're plugging another person, we don't do that on here. And if you're plugging that crackpot Julie on my channel, that's a good way for you to get blocked. Okay? If you're talking about the frickin' batshit crazy Julie, don't be bringing that shit. Oh, Julie Grant. Okay. I like Julie Grant. I still don't like the fact that she just parrots, you know, they're like, just arrest her already. Well, you have to have a reason to arrest them. Julie Grant. I'm so sorry. I see it now. I'm sorry. I'm like, don't be bringing that batshit crazy lady to my chat. Okay? Julie Grant, we love. She's not batshit crazy. We get a little crazy over here. Don't mind me. Very, very, very combative. Calm down. I will not calm down, damn it. Don't be bringing that batshit crazy lady over here. Yeah, Julie Grant, she's pretty cool. I like Julie Grant, but she's like, arrest her already. And I'm like, you know, I'm right there with them. Arrest her already. The problem with me is like, you gotta have reasons. I mean, you know, you gotta have reasons to arrest somebody. And I think the reason why they're not arrested, they're all coming out saying, oh, we're just keeping her out so she makes a mistake. And it's like, bullshit. You don't have probable cause to arrest the lady. Just say it. Not, oh, we're hoping she's going to make a mistake. No, you're not. You don't have probable cause. The judge is not signing off. Trust me, they would put this lady in jail, okay? They would put this lady in jail if they could. Tell me they wouldn't, because you know damn well, if we were in this, you know me, if you have a low-hanging fruit, throw them in jail. Get them talking, right? Get them talking. And you're telling me that if they didn't have an opportunity to throw her in jail, that they wouldn't throw her in jail? I call bullcrap, okay? Not in a, yeah, well, I didn't quite get, so I got $3. Somebody throw $3 for me saying, no, I said, did I say the shoot, $3 to $5. I can't remember what word I used. Julie Grant actually keeps saying the same thing. Oh, does she? That's a first. Oh, let me go over here and look. That's a first. Usually I haven't had anybody parrot me. And she wasn't. She's like, lock her up. I'm like, no, Julie, no. I'm screaming. I love my people from Court TV. I love Vinnie Politan. I love Julie. I love my people from Court TV. So it makes me it literally gives me heart palpitations when I disagree with them. I feel bad. When I disagree with Vinnie Politan, I want to cry. It's like, my pet, we're going to fight. I don't want to fight with Vinnie. I love Vinnie. I don't want to fight with him, but I don't disagree with him. You're wrong, Vinnie. I'm just saying. You're wrong. Bullhorn Betty says you're wrong. If you're wrong, I'm right. And she's an attorney. I hope so. I want somebody to speak up because that's been my problem. Nobody's been coming up here and saying anything, and I feel like this poor girl's being railroaded by the system, and she doesn't have a voice or a brain like me. I'm just saying, people that have platforms can use them and can help defend themselves a little bit, but this lady's been isolated, and I don't know if she has mental problems or not, but I can tell you there's a lot of parents out here that have mental problems and aren't in fear of losing their children. So the mental issues it has no bearing. Okay, it's a medical issue. We don't take children away from their parents for medical reasons. Okay, we give the parents support so they can find a happy balance in living their life with their child and their medical issues, because it's a disability of sorts. Court TV loves you, buddy. For real. Aw, sweet. That's sweet. But I don't know. I'm glad Court TV, because I love Court TV. I always go there. I value their opinion. They always have great talking points. They've always had. I don't know. I just I don't know. I feel that though. I think she's up to around. My cussing hasn't slowed down. Well, it was really bad. You guys have to admit, when we first came out here, I think I dropped F-bombs 20 times a show. Somebody come in here and get me going. Like my mods couldn't delete the shitty comments fast. And then when they did, I'd still go back. What did they say? And I'd go up and read them. So you guys remember those days? They would go in here and they would delete the comments so I didn't see it, so I wouldn't go off, right? Because they didn't want me to go off, because I'd be talking about a show, getting along, and then we'd have a crappy comment come through. They would delete it, and I'd stop the show to read it, and then I would cuss the person out right there in the middle of the show. And they're and I remember there's been some times oh my gosh, because we were attacked so much at the beginning on this platform, that people would come in and just have normal, you can't make this stuff up, just normal criticism, right? Just things that don't bother me. Like I like the debate. I like normal criticism. They'll say something, and then just be normal criticism. And next thing you know, I am like 5 feet down their throat. And they're like, I was just asking a legitimate question. So sorry, Betty. It's like, oh, you're not a troll. I'm so sorry. It was crazy. It was like the Wild Wild West on Bullhorn Betty. It was awful. God, I'm glad we don't live in those days. I mean, we still lived. We went through. We earned our bones on this street, on these platforms. That's for sure. We earned our bones. Like we still have a few asshats that come over here to mess with us, but for the most part, everybody just stays out of our way now. I think, like I said, I think we earned our bones. It's more irritating for them to screw with me now, because I'm just that annoying, right? So when they screw with me, they just get really annoyed because I just nonstop annoy them, right? I'll start talking about them. Next thing you know, people start sending them clips and blah, blah, blah. Like, I just don't like it. Jay Coffindoffer is going live in 30 minutes about Melodee. All right, let's get over there and watch Jay Coffindoffer. Tell her, go over there and give her some Bullhorn Betties. Hey, Cookie, it's nice to see you, love. Give her some Bullhorn Betties. And we'll get over there and stuff. They attacked Betty and oh, yeah. They went after the mods really, really good. We lost a few mods. The pressure got to some of the moderators here, because you know, you're kind of damned if you do, because at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that they were doing to me, we never talked about on the show, because that was why they were doing it. They wanted to have the you know, the clicks and the views of doing it, so we kept all of that stuff under wraps. Oh, thank you, Panda Bear's mom. Thanks for all you do. I'd love to speak up, but nervous. Oh, you do good. You do good. And trust me, I remember the first time I publicly spoke was at one of my county commission meetings. And I remember for 2 solid weeks, because I knew the meeting was coming up and I had a lot to say. And I wrote my speech out. I timed my speech. I sat out here. I read it and timed it, read it and timed it. I had 3 minutes. And when I first started my speech, I had a 5-minute speech. I kept working on it. It took me 2 weeks, worked it down. Went up to the podium. I read my speech, and I remember reading it off the paper. And I felt so empowered by doing that every week I came back with a new piece of paper and a new 3-minute, thing. And then it got to the point where I knew what I was wanting to say. I had no problem saying it, but I no longer had to work from a script or a piece of paper. Now I just got to the point where I really don't care if it comes out right. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay? All right, cupcake? No. So it just started becoming organic. Now when I have a problem, I now when I'm up at my podium, if you sometimes I'll bring a piece of paper up there, sometimes I won't. If I bring a piece of paper up there, it just has bullet points on it. It doesn't even have a speech anymore. I already know what I'm going to say. Whatever I'm going to say, I'm screaming at somebody. I already know that when I go in there. I'm screaming at somebody. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Who's getting screamed at today? No. Oh. You do such important work. I think it's important. I wish people would, we have an opportunity here in true crime where we're literally dominating. I know people don't look at it like that because we're a lot of different smaller creators, but at the end of the day, true crime and newsworthy content are being disseminated around the world by true crime content creator and news content creators, not necessarily mainstream media. And I love the fact that reliable mainstream media, people like Vinnie Politan, Brian Enton, Nancy Grace, they have made the conversion. They are going, they are one of us, right? They're one of us. They are content creators. They are on here. They are they are news professionals and journalists and stuff like that, but they're one of us now, right? They've made the conversion. They step on people's toes. They're a boil on the butt of a politician. They're everything that we think that journalism is, and so we're happy to work right with them. But again, I see some things going on, and I keep wondering, what the hell's going on here? The Melodee Buzzard case, I've never, ever in the history of this show ever saw overreach in a case like this. I've never felt like there was overreach in a case like this. As a matter of fact, I've always felt like they're not doing enough. And so for me to have these feelings, you guys have to understand. I don't know why. I know that something isn't right, and I can't put my finger on it. And when I go back to the drawing boards, the only thing I can think of that's making me feel this uneasy is we started out with this child missing for a year, and clearly she's not. And so that's where me and this is going to be kind of heading, because if this woman is being railroaded and she's so terrified that the state is going to take her daughter away that she literally put her daughter in disguise and took her over state lines, I feel for her, especially if she was getting along for the last 4 years unobstructed without any problems from the school or anybody else. I just want to know a little more. If she's abusing this child, then we need to work on that. That's something completely different. But they're not implying she's abused. They're not implying she's neglected. I don't know what the hell they're implying at this point. At the very beginning, they were implying that this child was missing and hadn't been seen for a year. That's not the case. So until I figure out what in the world, shitbags, yeah, I agree with that. I refused to help Aline after what I witnessed from her when we were at Quentin's. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's bad. Well, a lot of people in our chat did help her, and she ended up being very nasty and rude to the people in chat. So, she'll have to find any help elsewhere. Not only that, she shouldn't have been receiving help from our chat anyways. I personally spoke to her when we were in Tennessee, and I told her, don't come to this channel for help. And I thought she didn't, but maybe she did. I don't know. So it is what it is. Don't know why your comment got deleted, but I agree. I think what had happened was it looked like she was calling you a shitbag, and somebody's like, maybe we shouldn't. So in an abundance of caution, I think that I think one of our mods kind of caught it and said, pump the brakes, sister. Then she reached out to people. Some of us, yeah, exactly. Well, prayers for everybody. Hopefully she gets her life together. Hopefully she never has to, I pray that she never has to ask anybody for help again. I'd like to see her doing really well personally. I like to see everybody doing well. But the one thing I can honestly say is we're here to help and empower people. If we can help in cases, we do. If we can help, look at this case. This case, nobody was even talking about government overreach. If people start talking about government overreach, then I've done my job. That's what people don't understand. It's like they expect you to be the person that goes out and solves the case, or that you think you're going to be the one to solve the case. No, if we can bring attention to it, I hope maybe one day I will be a direct result of somebody coming home or somebody being found. I hope and pray that we can help in that realm. But if helping is just advocating and just speaking or just giving a perspective or just analyzing a case properly where it brings a little more clarity like this, we're bringing some clarity, I feel, to a very difficult conversation. And, if we can just do that, hey, Tara, it's nice to see you. If we can just do that, then I feel like we are doing good, and that's all that's required is just doing better than we did yesterday, trying to leave this place better than it was when we got here, right? It doesn't really matter how we accomplish that. It just matters if that's what we are wanting to do, and we wake up every day and put effort toward that. Every day people wake up and want to accomplish, the world's problems. But we all fall short, and every single day I expect to fall short from the goals that I'd like to achieve. But every time I work to achieve those goals, even falling short, I'm achieving more than I would have not trying to reach for those. And I hope everybody looks at it and is empowered by that and chooses to keep, reaching for their own stars and minds to help. One of the reasons why is because I was out there doing a lot of stuff. I, in reality, probably shouldn't be here. I should probably be in a grave somewhere. I was just that brutal to myself and to my body. But here I am. I had an opportunity to change my life, which I did. And I have an opportunity to give back, which is a gift. While many people have to go and beat the clock 9 to 5, I was given an opportunity where I didn't have to do that anymore. And I chose to do something positive with that time. It's been a rocky road, and but we do still have our, we still strive to achieve a lot, and we still strive to still do epic, right? A lot of the stuff we've done over the years have been pretty epic. Something that, normal Joes just don't get an opportunity to do. And we did it, we did it. We took mainstream media and we gave them a run for their money. We were to be honest with you, we were one of the pioneers that brought social media to the front scenes of crimes. The thing that we had that Bullhorn Betty is going to be going in history as bringing some of this stuff to your front door from real life without having to pay for cable is pretty interesting, and we did that, and while we had some bumpy roads and a lot of jealous people that tried to break everything apart, which they eventually over 5 years were successful at destroying just about everything that was built. They still couldn't destroy what we built. Now hundreds of people are doing it. Now it's a commonplace whenever there's a child missing that people show up at the front door and stand out there with picket signs. When we started it, it was very uncommon. It very rarely happened. It happened like in 3 or 4 cases throughout our nation. Now it's a commonplace. We did that. I'll always be proud of the work that we've done. Maybe we haven't, brought the child home yet, but we've accomplished a lot, and we've moved the needle. And I'm very pleased with the hard work we've done, and even some of the challenges we've had to overcome. And I'm still overcoming them as we do this stuff. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But we'll continue to move forward. Good times, bad times. We have our highs and lows on this channel, just like everybody else. It's a little more public than, say, a mainstream media channel. But that's what people love. People love authentic. They love raw. They don't like, put in a, pretty little bow with a suit and tie. They like real. And I think that's what social media gives people. They give them real. I mean, I'm sitting here at my dining table having a cup of coffee with you, doing research. You guys are watching me on your phones, your TVs, your computers, your and we're having a conversation. You don't get to do that with, a suit and tie on CNN. You don't get to, the only time, like, look at Vinnie Politan. For the first time, he finally has his channel where he can actually engage with his audience. For the first time in the history of court TV, he's being able to actually speak directly with his audience. It's never before, right? And even mainstream media, they didn't want to engage with social media there for a while. They didn't want to do that. It was only a way to throw stuff out there, And they still haven't quite gotten social media yet, because they flutter it with ads and stuff like that. We're independent. We don't have all of our overhead costs. So we're not having to flood our publications with a shit ton of advertisements on it to pay for it, right? They do. So it's, they're still learning the happy balance of social media and how to afford doing everything that they were doing and incorporating social media, because people on social, they don't want to pay. You got to find other ways of getting compensated. That's why they're here. Everybody ditched the cable, right? You're here because you don't want to pay for cable anymore. So they're used to the advertisements. They're used to their sponsors and stuff. So they're having to, change their whole dynamic. So I think the good people like mainstream media, I think they'll convert. It's going to be a struggle for them, like I said, because they're going to have to try to find ways to be compensated without littering their crap with all that advertisement. It bogs down the system. It makes it unpleasant. It makes it unpleasant for the viewer. So that all these publications that you can't even read their articles without paying $1 or $2 a month, they're going to lose all that business. So they're, like I said, we've got it down, but we don't have the overhead. So we have it like that. They still have to try to figure out how to manage everything. But I think they'll get it. And we'll have some really good competition on social media in the next, 5 to 10 years, where we're going to be, strongly having to compete with mainstream media again, because they're going to be on this platform pushing their stuff, because everybody's going to be ditching cable. I mean, they're already ditching cable. But pretty soon, like even the apps and stuff, they're getting so expensive now. They're getting as expensive as cable is. So pretty soon, they become the animal that they tried to replace. So we're gonna have another round, eventually too. So we'll figure it out. But I have a funny feeling we're gonna be coming here for shows. We're gonna be putting on like Days of Our Lives. We're going to have dramas on here. We're going to have, I see the future of YouTube. I really do. And I see the future of people like me doing those types of things. Like people that have cameras putting together productions versus going to Hollywood to do it. Like, I feel like like things are coming, and the underdogs finally are leveling the playing field. You know, somebody's like, I see it. Yeah, like I feel like look at all of our music. Like we're not even mainstream music anymore. We're going on YouTube and finding new artists that these production companies wouldn't even let us listen to. They were in control of who we heard and who we didn't, right? They had the radio stations. Well, now that we have social media, look at all these creators, like even music artists, like Forgiato Blow. You know, he's a conservative political rapper. I personally know him. I've seen him. I mean, I've got probably 100 freaking, like, we know each other by name. You know, we every time we see each other, we hug. He had his music in #1 position on Spotify for like 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even a month or something. I remember he was really, really proud of it. And I'm thinking, you know, this is a man that doesn't have a production company, and he's on Spotify at #1. This is the type of thing, you know, that we didn't have. We removed the middleman. We removed the producers. We removed the greedy SOBs. And now we have social media. So we've already started seeing it really come together for music, right? We see it come together for journalism. We're going to see this come together where we're going to be ditching even the George Clooney's, right? We're going to be watching, you know, Joe Blow from Massachusetts doing a scary movie on, you know, Friday the 13th. Like, it's going to get like that, folks. Like, it really is. I feel like we're getting there. And pretty soon we're going to really ramp up competition. It's not going to be the rich and powerful have it made now. Social media leveled that playing field a long time ago. There's never been an opportunity like right now with social media. I can have a direct conversation with the first family, you know, like Don Jr. I can literally go on an app, Truth Social, and have a conversation, a direct conversation with somebody that high up in our political, you know, chain. That's what social media has done. It's brought people together. And I think that that's just going to be going and going and going. And I think that as time and as more production, we're going to, even content creators, we're going to have to step up our game when it starts getting there, because it's going to be more competition and people are going to be wanting to go with something that's a little more glitz and glamour, you know? So at some point, you never know, Bullhorn Buddy may actually have to get produced. We're not going to freaking, you know, what are the board of people? No, you're not going to tell me what I can say. We'll do producers, but to make the video and the production look better. But anybody wants to tell me what I have to say or what I have to do? Nope. That's the reason why I never took a position in my county. I remember somebody was like, why don't you become the assistant? Nope. I don't want anybody dangling a job over my head saying I can't say this or I can't say that or I'm going to have to. Nope. Nobody has control over me like that. Nope. Nope. Did I tell you I don't like being told what to do? That's why I do my own thing, because that's why I don't do anything other than what I do. I don't like being told what to do. Nobody can tell me what to do. Who can tell me what to do? Let me out. Mom! Hey, Mom! Can you tell me what to do? My mama hasn't been able to tell me what to do since she spat me out, okay? I've been a stubborn child. Did I tell you about that? I'm a stubborn child. And she chose to have another one after me. That poor lady. That poor lady. I don't know what she was thinking. I still don't know what she was thinking. We're thankful we got a Taylor. I still don't know what my mama was thinking. I can't say that. I'm saying it. Oh my gosh, the puppy is full of it right now. She wants to, oh, I know, Delilah. Well, you know, my friend Laura wasn't feeling good, so I didn't get over there Saturday. And Delilah, you can tell the difference in her. I mean, because when she goes over there on Saturday, they play rough, you know, and she she comes here completely, utterly exhausted. And, you know, she's just like this new puppy for the rest of the week, you know, until it's getting closer to the end of the week and she gets a little more angst in her. But she loves going over there. She didn't get to go over there this week, and she's been quite energetic. You know, the point where she just takes off and runs in a circle as fast as she can. Like, she doesn't do that, ever. And she's done that the last 2 days. She did it last night in front of Glenn. Glenn's like, what the hell's going on with her? I'm like, she didn't go over to Laura's. And then this morning she did it again. She thought the freaking front yard was a you know, a track. And she was just, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm like, okay, I guess we'll just stay out here for a few more minutes until you're done. Just let her run. Let her get it out. Let her get it out. So, anyways. All right, guys. You have a great day. I don't know when our next live will be, but pay attention. We'll be on Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We'll be on here. If you haven't signed up for Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories, get over there. Sign up. As this comes down, you guys are on the replay crew, don't forget to hit that hype button. There should be a hype button, but it does not hype while it's live. And I think we can only hype it when it ends and it's in this direction. I'm trying to learn this stuff. I'm trying to learn. Everybody's like, where's the hype button? And if you don't know where the hype button is, wherever you make the comment on there, you have to scroll over one, okay? So you have where you can, on the replay crew, you can see where you write your chat. Well, you can scroll over and see the live chat. Well, if you scroll over once, it should give you a button to hype. And then you scroll over again, it should give you the place for the live chat that you guys are talking in right now. So if you're on the replay crew, when you make a comment, say hi, and then swipe and hype. Swipe and hype. Swipe and hype. There we go. We got a rhyme. Okay. Bullhorn Betty's going to try not to be so bedhead Betty. So I think I'm going to finish my cup of coffee. I think I'm going to play with my poopy because we got right up out of bed and I came live. So you guys, I didn't get to do my normal stuff. And you know what? As a matter of fact, she's still in bed. She is still in bed. Pretty sure she's still in bed. Oh, hold on. Well, hi! What are you doing? Huh. Usually you're up. What you doing? What you doing there, Cupcake? Huh? You enjoying your morning? Huh. Interesting. Just saying. Let me give a background on. Just saying. And this is Michael Monkey Vaughn. Told you she was sleeping. She's being lazy. I just thought I'd show you because usually she's definitely not there. This time of morning, she's being lazy. So anyways, BHB just jumped out of her skin. So this is Michael Monkey Vaughn. He disappeared, almost 5 years ago. It was 2021. So almost, we're coming up. So 4.5 years ago, he disappeared. His mother has gone. His mother, Brandy, right here. She had liver problems. She almost died, lost her life while trying to find out what happened to her son. This is Stacy Wandra. He has officially been arrested for the homicide of her son. He was a neighbor that lived on the other side of the community. So in their down their road, they come off like a main highway type of thing. And there is like 2 or 3 different little communities in this little down this road. Like you have a community on one side of a few hundred houses, and then you have their side that has 20, 30 houses. And so on the other side by the water pad There's several hundred houses back there, and that's where Stacy and Sarah Wandra lived. And this is Stacy Wandra. He has now been arrested in first-degree homicide charges for the death of Michael Monkey Vaughn. Now, he did not act alone. He has a wife named Sarah Wandra that's already in the state of Idaho. She's in jail on other crimes. We also have Adrian Lucian, which the last time I heard was in California, and then Brandon Shurtleff, which ended up leaving the area and going to, I believe it's South Dakota. It might be North Dakota. I can't remember. It's his father's property. So all these people are very creepy people, just in life in general. So we're very thankful to hear this. I'm going to be going through my content, trying to locate my, I was out there in Fruitland, Idaho multiple times. Once for the search of Michael Monkey Vaughn, and then another time, once I heard of the Wandras, I wanted to record their home, and that was done like a year or so later. So I'll find those, and then we'll have a good conversation about it. So, all right, guys, you guys have a great morning. Grab your coffee, get up, start your day, get out the way, and go to work. It is Manic Monday. So God bless you. Be safe out there. Be careful if you're driving. Always keep a football field of the person in front of you, including at those stoplights. We've got a lot of people that should not be driving vehicles on our roads, courtesy of your sanctuary city policies. Sorry, not sorry. It is what it is. It's the truth. Own it. If you guys believe in it, then you should own the responsibility of what it's done. And at the end of the day, a lot of people got licenses that should not have licenses. So they're not paying attention, and they are rear-ending people and killing people. So even keep that football field from the person in front of you. It might save your life one day. All right, so get out there, go give the world hell. Take no survivors and kick some ass today. All right, happy Manic Monday. See you soon.